Hi everyone, Trishna here. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be focusing on the question, what is in store for me financially? So pick a number from 1 through 4, or look at the 4 groups of decks that I'm going to show you here in a second, and we're going to get started with your reading. All right, so we have groups 1, 2, 3, and 4. So take a moment to select your group or your deck, and then we'll get started. Hi, group number 1. So what I'm feeling for you from an intuitive perspective is I feel like you're actually very responsible with your money, so you don't really have any concerns about what your financial outlook will look like because you're very good at saving, you're very good at living within your means and thinking ahead long term and budgeting and all of that. You're just overall, however you like to handle your money, you're just very responsible with it. And you're really just watching this because it's fun. And if there's anything that you want to get out of this reading, you would like to know, how can you take your income or take your finances to the next level? How can you turn what you have into more or have more than you currently already have? And the guidance that I'm getting for you around there is maybe take more risk. And I feel like that's kind of a strange thing to say during this time period, but maybe take more risk. And if the stock market or something like that isn't really where you want to put your money at this point in time, that's fine because you can take risks in other ways. Maybe you have a friend or a close family member who is starting a venture and they would like some financial investments from other people around them to help them out with that. And that is something that you could help them with. You can maybe finance parts of their projects, or maybe you can give and donate to charities around you. And if you're wondering, well, how does that help me grow my income? I feel like what that will help you grow is, especially if you're giving a large sum, it'll help you build visibility for yourself, build branding for yourself, kind of put yourself in the business world when it comes to funding and funding parties and banquets and things like that. So I feel like maybe for some of you, when you want to up-level your finances, you actually also, or more so, want to up-level your social game and your social ladder game and all that. So that is what I'm getting for you from the intuitive perspective. So we're going to go ahead and look at the cards. So looking at these cards just at a high level, I can tell where the donating to a charity kind of comes into play. We'll talk about it more as we go through the cards, but I see how some of the things that we were just talking about align with the cards. So the first card that we have is the Nine of Earth. And I feel like this represents that, yeah, you are very responsible with your money. Some of you may be very like penny pincher-ish, like very to the cent, really watching your money, figuring everything out, calculating everything. And so you're very careful with your money. And I also feel like this, for some of you, represents that you may be very secretive about how you do that, and maybe you have certain tactics that you use that have really helped you get where you are right now. And maybe you don't want to share it because you're worried that it'll jinx your situation. Maybe you don't want to share it because you feel like people will make fun of you for managing the money the way that you do. Maybe you don't want to share it because you feel like other people will make a lot and then it will be a threat to you. Whatever the reason for keeping your tactics a secret were, I feel like you are kind of changing your tune about that, and you are entering the magician phase. So you have really figured out how to create abundance for yourself. All those secrets and tactics that you've used, combined with however you budget, all of that has really given you a lot of abundance and has given you a lot of practice in manifesting and creating that abundance, and you feel really comfortable with the process. It is always an art, but for the most part you feel like you have the process down, and you don't really mind sharing it anymore. In fact, you want to share it now because you're so comfortable with it that nobody is really a threat. You would really just like to, you're entering this phase where it was kind of like me, I have to figure this out, and it's me versus everybody else, or me and my partner versus everybody else, to now where it's like, hey, we all need to help each other. We all need to be abundant. I'm willing to share everything that I know, and maybe I'll learn some things from other people. So you've kind of entered this quiet magician phase where you were really figuring things out and you were perfecting your process, to this more outward magician phase where you're ready to teach other people and you want to share the knowledge that you have and the success that you have and the secrets that you have with other people. Then we have the Queen of Cups and also the Justice card. I feel like with the Queen of Cups, this is going back to how you've been very focused on your money, very focused on your pentacles, very focused on budgeting and looking at every single cent, and you have been puzzling things out, trying to figure things out. And I feel like you've reached the point where it's like, hey, I figured out enough, and now I want to get to the point where I want to give justice to the world. I think looking out into the world right now, you feel like there's a lot of injustice, and given the timing of when I'm filming this, you are absolutely right. That makes sense with everything that's going on. There's a lot of injustice out there, and you want to use your money to help bring more justice in the world, and you want to use what you've learned and teach it to other people so that other people can claim more justice for themselves as well. So this is where it ties into maybe wanting to donate to charities like maybe like Black Lives Matter or something like that. That's not a charity, but like movements or charities or anything that really speaks injustice to you and that you want to bring more justice towards. And so this kind of speaks to that. Where do you want to invest your money? Not up level your money, but invest your money for the greater good, because you are also a spiritual person. And that part is really calling out to you. You know that there's a lot of mending that needs to be done just out in the world. There's a lot of injustice that you want to bring justice to. And you want to be that teacher. So you want to mend, you want to teach people, you want to share what you know and help them and learn from them as well so that you can have more to share with even more people. When you want to learn from other people, you're not doing that just so you can help yourself anymore. You're doing that because you want to learn from other people so you can share it with an even greater audience and help even more people. So you have now become very, very much about the people, and this is causing you to, this is what the Come to the Edge card is about, is you used to be very secretive about certain things, and so now that you're putting yourself out into the world, it's like you're on the edge. It's like you're doing something that is a little bit outside of your comfort zone, and so it's different and it's new and it's strange and it requires some practice and it requires some having to deal with your emotions and the fears around that, but you're ready for it. This is what you want. You're ready to spread your love, and you know that the best way for you to do that is through spreading your wisdom around finances. And when you want to teach people, you don't really want to charge them. You don't want to create a course where you teach people how to manifest more money and how to budget and how to use the spiritual side to bring in abundance. You don't want to charge people for that. You truly want to teach people who could really benefit from that and who you want to uplevel their lives. You want to uplevel their finances. It's not just about you and your finances anymore. You really, really want to help the world. You really want to right the wrongs that are out there right now, and you feel very tied to that. And group one, I think that is awesome. I think that is amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you are in such a good financial place where you can now spread that and help others find that for themselves. So that is what I got for you, group number one. Hi, group number two. From an intuitive perspective, what I'm feeling for you is I feel like you're very, very stressed about money, but maybe you don't really need to be, or at least you don't need to be as stressed as you are, because while I feel like you feel stressed about money, I feel like I'm being told there's still time, or it could be worse, like maybe you're starting to run low on your savings but you still do have some savings, or maybe there are some loopholes, like maybe you're not currently not being charged mortgage or rent, or you're being able to postpone it in some way. So I feel like you are stressed about money, things are running a little bit low, but things certainly could be worse, and there are some workarounds that are available to you that maybe you need to explore, and that doesn't make you feel good, that doesn't make you feel comfortable, because you would rather not have to need those. You would like to be in a position where you don't need those loopholes or those workarounds. But I feel like it's fine. I mean, I understand that you're stressed, but I feel like there is still time is what I'm getting. So just wait. Maybe you're going to be getting a paycheck, or maybe you're going to be getting unemployment or something like that. Something is going to come in to help you. And I think that maybe you know that, but just the reality of the situation can be a little bit jarring. And I feel like the one thing that maybe you need to hear to bring in more abundance into your life is, how are you currently spending your money? Because I feel like you may be being too rigid with how your money is spent, and maybe you only spend it on things that are necessities, or things that you must get, or things that, that you just must get. And you very rarely buy things that you can have, or buy things just for the pure enjoyment of it, or the pure experience of it. So group number two, I would recommend that maybe you spend currently right now, even though you're stressed about money, maybe you spend some money on something that you really enjoy, whether that is some kind of gadget or object or something that you want, or a book or something like that, or whether that is some wine or some liquor or something that you can really enjoy that maybe is your favorite kind, or maybe like some kind of experience like a spa day or something like that. Buy something that you really enjoy. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to stretch yourself thin and really stress out about not only are my savings going low, but now I'm having to spend on something really big. It can be something that isn't super expensive, but buy something that you enjoy. I think that it will really help your energetic field, because that's just not something that you do, and I feel like it's clogging up your abundance channels, and that this would really help. All right, group number 2. So looking at the cards, the first one we have is a 7 of air. I feel like what this is trying to share with you is that you have these fears that you're going to run out of money. You have a lot of stress around money, a lot of fear around money, but at the same time, you actually have a lot. And so while you're focusing on all this anxiety and all this stress and how I'm going to pay the bills and how is this going to work out and how do I move this budget around with this budget, you're not really noticing how much you have and how many opportunities are around you to help you and support you. So you're kind of focused. I don't want to say you're focused on the wrong things, because money can be stressful when it's starting to run low, and when we're in a situation that we're in, like right now during this time period that I'm filming this. So I understand that, but also I feel like this card is trying to tell you, hey, like, we understand your feelings, but please also notice how much you do have and focus your attention there, because that is where your attention goes, that's where creation flows. So focus on what you do have, because that is going to help you bring in more. And I feel like you're in this hangman state, but you're kind of creating this for yourself, that there's a lot more power and a lot more at your disposal than you are giving yourself credit for, or that, no, you realize it, but so yeah, I was gonna say more than you're giving yourself credit for, or more than you're realizing, but you do realize it, and you're kind of putting yourself in this hangman state. The Ace of Swords, I feel, is trying to tell you you have a lot more power in the situation, again, than you're giving yourself credit for. You have a lot more power in this situation than you realize. I think in this case, you don't really realize how much power you have. I also feel like this is trying to say, when life gives you lemon, make lemonades. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I switched the pluralization there. So when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. There are opportunities for you where you currently are. You have more power in your situation than you realize. So use the money that you do have to go buy yourself something that will truly make you happy. That is you taking what you have, your lemons, and turning it into lemonade. You are using the money that you have so that you can buy something that you like, that will give you joy, and that will open up your abundance channel so you can bring in even more abundance. So it's one of those situations where sometimes you have to spend a little to get a little, or spend a little to get more. You have to invest a little to be able to bring in more into your life, and here you're doing an energetic investment that involves some dollars. And for some of you, there may be something, you may not know what you want to buy for yourself, or you may not be somebody who likes to buy things for themselves. So in that case, buy something for your partner, buy something for somebody who's very close to you, that you're very emotionally attached to, where you would get the same amount of joy from them receiving what you bought than what most people get when they buy something for themselves or receive something for themselves. So make sure that you are in this energy of feeling like you are doing something special for yourself. So if that's buying something for yourself, then do that. If that's buying something for someone else and that makes you feel just as special, then do that. And make sure that it's somebody that you're very emotionally attached to, like a partner, maybe a parent, maybe a child, that will truly open up those energetic channels that are currently blocked, that are blocking your abundance. Again, make lemonade out of lemons. You have a little bit of money right now. Spend it so you can get more money, because it will open up your channels and allow more of your abundance in. Again, it doesn't have to be too much. Do not put a money in that will overly stress you, but put in something, and you're buying something for yourself. It's like you're not just throwing it out there. You're buying something for yourself that you truly enjoy and connect with. Again, that's you. You're getting something of value for what you're spending. So you're getting a lot of things when you spend that money. You're getting something of value that you enjoy, and you're opening up your channels, which will bring in greater abundance. Like it's a multiplying factor. The next card we have is TikTok. So I feel like this represents how you feel stressed for time, but there actually is still time for you to be able to make that payment, to pay those bills, to get that extra paycheck in, or whatever the situation is. It feels like time is counting down for you, but there is still time, and that's something that you need to know. And I think that's interesting because that popped up in the intuitive portion. We talked about how there is still time, and I was feeling like I needed to tell you that. And the final card is Truth Be Told. Truth Be Told is you can open up your abundance channels, and you have what it takes to be able to do that, and that is how you bring in your abundance. So buy something nice for yourself, or buy something nice for somebody that you really care about, and turn the dollars that you have into more dollars. So that is what I'm getting for you, group number 2. Hi, group number 3. So what I'm feeling for you from an intuitive perspective is I feel like you're actually doing pretty well emotionally with regards to money. I feel like your savings, you have a little bit of savings, you would like there to be more, but you are really focusing on the positive. You see that there is a little bit of a buffer financially for you, and you're just appreciating that there is a buffer, and you're appreciating how much is there, and you really want to keep your mindset focused on what is there, not on what is not there. So you're doing a really good job of keeping your mindset in the right place, because you know that if you do that, if you focus on the right things, if you look at money in the right way, if you see it in a positive way, that you will find a way to make ends meet, you will find a way for things to work out, you will find a way out of this current situation so that you can be significantly more abundant. You just need a little bit of time, and you just need to continue to focus, and the answer will come to you. The guidance that I'm getting for you, group number 3, is maybe this is the time for you to start a side hustle or to get another job to add more to your income. That's just what I'm getting. So if you want to get another job, or if you want to start a side hustle, like maybe a business, or if you want to do something like Rover, those are some things that I think will be good for you at this point in time. The energy is right for you to make that happen. All right, group number 3, taking a look at the cards. The first card we have is the World card. So if there is something that you have been wishing for, that has been on your mind, something that you have been desiring, it is likely going to come true. If you can't think of what that might be, or if you didn't really truly have anything in mind, then I feel like this really speaks to how abundance is coming your way and how your mindset is actually working, that focusing on the money that you do have and the buffer that you do have is starting to pay dividends, because the world is about to be given to you. You're about to have comfort, you're about to have success, you're about to have whatever it is that you're looking for come into your world and into your life. Next, we have the Ace of Earth, and I feel like this again is a really good card, especially because Earth represents finances and the material and possessions and pentacles in the traditional tarot. And I feel like this speaks to how maybe it's time for you to start a new job, or start add on a second job, or start a side hustle, or do something like Rover, something like that. I feel like this is saying that this time is ripe and good for starting new beginnings in the career realm or in the financial realm. So start something new, because this is a really good time for that. The Four of Pentacles represents somebody who's holding way too tightly onto their money. I feel like this is here to tell you that this is not what you were doing, and this is a really good thing. A lot of people, whenever they only have a little bit of a buffer in their finances, it can really stress them out. Look at group number 2's video if you want to know what I'm talking about, and you're not doing that. You are keeping your head on straight. In fact, you're doing your best to celebrate however you can, and to really look at things positively, and to not hold too tightly onto those pentacles. If there's something that you really want to do and it costs money, you're still allowing yourself to do that. You are not holding on to your savings for dear life. You're making room for the things that are fun, and that is really helping out in your energy, and that is why you got the World card. That's why things are working out for you. And if you can't see that they're working out for you, that's okay. Just know you got the World card, which means that things are working out for you, whether or not you can see it. And you're basically being very poised. You're doing a really good job of keeping it together, not just on the outside, but truly on the inside. Emotionally, you truly feel good about your situation. You truly are practicing the law of attraction and really holding true to spirituality or your faith or whatever it is that you believe in. You are really mastering that and passing the test, I guess, and believing in what can't be seen, and knowing that what you want is there, even though it is currently behind the veil. And I think you also understand that, to be fair, that you know that there are things that you can be doing, and your mindset work is paying off, and that's why this is a good time for that new beginning. You know that, hey, I could start a side hustle right now. I could have a second job right now. I could do Rover or Uber or, whatever is still in progress right now. There are things that I can do, and I feel like you are ready to do that. Maybe there's some mindset work you want to do on that first. I feel like maybe there are some mental blocks that do I really want to add on another job, or should I really focus on having a positive vibe? Because whenever you have another job, that brings on more stress and more conflict and more people and more, would that mess with my vibe? So I feel like there's some things that you need to figure out on your end before you go ahead and pursue that Ace of Earth, the Ace of Pentacles, of starting something new in the financial realm. But once you figure that out, success will be yours. You have everything else set up for you. You have been doing that. You have set everything else up well energetically. So that is what I'm getting for you, group number 3. All right, group number 4, what I'm feeling for you from an intuitive perspective is I feel like financially you don't have a lot, but you aren't unhappy about it. I feel like despite how little you have, you feel really blessed for what you do have. You're very happy with your life. You're very content. You don't feel like you need more. So when I say you have little, maybe it's in comparison to other people around you, but you feel good about what you have. You're really happy with that, and you know that you could create more if you wanted to. You know that you have the ability to create your reality and create the level of abundance that you are looking for. You have just decided that you don't really want any more abundance that you currently have. Now, I think that's all really good, but I am being guided to tell you that maybe you need to really think about that. What do you really want? Is it true that you don't want to create more abundance for yourself? Is it true that you don't want to have more abundance that you currently have right now? Is that how you really feel? Or do you just feel that way because you're being stubborn? Have you convinced yourself that you don't want more, or are you acting like you don't want more because you're actually stubborn? And I think that there are people in your life who look at your life and think, wow, you are a very talented person. You're somebody who can truly create. You have a lot of skills. Why aren't you doing that? Why are you just staying in the mediocre or living small? And when people tell you that, it annoys you, it frustrates you. You don't like when people tell you what to do or tell you how to live your life or tell you that your life isn't enough. And I fully agree with you on that, but I am being guided to tell you to revisit that. Because I think that you actually would like to have more, and you are holding yourself back from that because other people think that you should have more, and you're being really stubborn and resistant to that. So I think group number 4, that maybe you need to sit with, what do I really want in life? Do I actually want more? And try to filter out the stubbornness or resistance that you have to everybody else thinking the same thing, and think for yourself, because you're being influenced by them whether you realize it or not. You feel like you're not, because you're going against what they're saying, but like their thoughts are still in your head, and their thoughts are still affecting how you're deciding to live your life. So I think group number 4, really sit with that. Try to release the resistance around that, because I think that actually you would like more. I feel really strange saying that. I feel like you're very much going to agree with me on that, but that is what I was guided to share with you. I feel like there are actually maybe a lot of blocks that you have with regards to money and abundance, and that they may stem back into your childhood and were probably instilled or taught or shown to you maybe by your mother, or like a female mother type of figure. And you really hold true to their mindset. And their mindset doesn't have to be a bad one. It could just be a very spiritual one of, hey, we're here to live within our means and to live peacefully and not be capitalistic or something like that. There may be some kind of very peaceful, very loving way that somebody taught you should think about money, but it is affecting what you truly want. Because yes, I think that is really nice, a nice, very peaceful way to look at money, but you are a different person and you have different views, and you came here to fulfill different things. So, maybe you need to really take a look at, what do you want? Again, this all kind of comes to, what do you want? Not what do other people want, or what have you been taught growing up. Because just because you were taught that growing up doesn't mean that it's your destiny or your path. It could just be that you were taught that so that you would be very humble in your abundance, so that you would be very giving and generous in your abundance, and that you would be very respectful of the abundance that you have. So it doesn't, just because you were taught that and grown up with that and embodied certain beliefs, doesn't mean that was who you're supposed to be. It just means that it's supposed to be an aspect of who you're supposed to be. All right, group number 4. So looking at the cards, the first one we have here is a 10 of water. I feel like this really speaks to how good you feel about your current circumstances, how happy you are with the life that you currently have, and how you really enjoy what you do have, and that you do really feel very blessed with what you have, even if it's not a lot by the terms that other people define it, even if it's not a lot in other people's eyes. I feel like this 5 of earth really speaks to that guidance that you got from maybe a mother figure in your childhood, where it's really important to be respectful of everything in life, whether it is nature, whether it is the income that we have, and it's very good to live in harmony with all of the forces. And that is the mentality that you have brought with you throughout your life, and how you look at your own life. That is why you're very able to be happy by living a small life. It's because you understand how to appreciate what you do have. And that is also why you're very capable of manifesting incredible abundance, is because you are so appreciative of what you have, even when it's small. And so you can use that. You can truly be very abundant if that is what you choose that you want, because you really embody gratitude and appreciation and humbleness for what you have always. It's just a part of who you are. But that is the question. So we have the Two of Swords, and that is the question. You're at a crossroads, you're trying to make a decision, or you need to make a decision, and you're blindfolded. You're choosing not to see the options that are in front of you. You're choosing to only focus on kind of being stubborn and not wanting more just because other people are telling you that you should want more. And I understand that kind of resistance, but it is putting you at this crossroads. It is limiting your ability to live your life and experience what you came here to experience. We also have the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this is a representation of how you do not like to receive charity. Whether the charity takes the form of money, where somebody's trying to help you out, or maybe they're offering guidance, or maybe they want to help you out. Somehow you don't really respond to that very well. And I feel like you have some of that coming in some form. It may not be charity as in dollars. It's charity the way that you see it, or how you define it in your mind when it approaches you. And you don't really like it. And I don't know that you should really think of it as charity. I think you should think of it as somebody trying to support you and trying to love you and trying to help you reach your fullest potential because they feel like maybe you aren't. And again, you do have to do some searching within yourself to figure out what it is that you want, because it's okay when people want to help you as long as it's something that you want as well, but you have to figure that out first. Otherwise, you're just going to shun all of their help, and that's just really not going to get you anywhere. In fact, it's going to get you sitting all by yourself here with all these different directions where you could go, but you're choosing not to. You're choosing to be out at sea and not making any kind of movement and not really having any kind of direction in your life. And so I know that it can be really annoying when other people try to tell us how to live our life or try to tell us that our life is too small or not good enough in some way. That is really irritating, but I feel like the people who are telling you this have the best intentions, are coming from a place of love and coming from the heart, and they're not trying to change you. They're not trying to make you feel bad. They're not trying to tell you that you don't have a good enough vision or something like that. I think that they just see the potential in you, and they just see that you have so much power, and maybe it's something that you should try to use. Maybe it's something that you should explore and just see what kind of a life you could be living, because I think that they love you very much and they want you to have the best of everything. They want you to live the biggest life, the best life, and just really make it something that is special. And if you haven't experienced something, you can't really decide that it's not special. You can't say that, oh, well, having a big life isn't what I want, for sure, if you haven't ever lived it, or if you haven't tried to truly tune into yourself and see if it's something that you want. Because if you've always been living a certain way, you don't know what that life is like. You only have perceptions and opinions that could be wrong, they could be right about that lifestyle, but you can't really speak to it because you don't actually have real life experience to it. So I think group number 4, you really need to do that soul searching. You really need to figure out what do you want, and then once you figure that out, if somebody tries to help you on that path, you need to be able to accept it and understand that that is a part of you creating your reality. You're bringing these people in to help you. Why are they coming in to help you if you're not bringing that in some way with your vibration? So that is probably a sign that, hey, maybe I should consider living a little bit differently or changing something up and seeing just how far I can go. Where are the boundaries for me in life? Maybe there aren't any, and you will get to discover that. And how expansive is the universe? Can it really create everything that I want? So use this as a journey, as a exploration, as a fun activity to test out the waters, to see just how much you can create in life and how much the universe is willing to support you. And that's the other thing, is if you're out creating a big life, you have this mentality of what that is that you may not like. But maybe a part of you wants a bigger life, you just don't want it because you don't like XYZ. But the universe is just so good at really creating the perfect scenario for us that is perfect for what our vibration is. So if you want that big life, you can have it without the parts that you don't like. Other things will fill in for it, or it just won't include that part. Don't limit the universe, is what I'm trying to say. Just because you don't like one or two or a few aspects of something. Allow yourself to go for what you want, even if there are aspects of it that you don't want, and allow the universe to fill in and really shape the experience to what you want. So that's what I have to share with you, group number 4. I hope that this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching.